Airbus 321. And if your video monitor is not working, please let one of us.
It's snowing so hard. It's so cool. Do you see that snow? This is how you know that I filmed this 2 years later. A, it's snowing. B, my hair is dyed. C, my hair is long and my face looks more mature, I guess. And I have a better sense of makeup and style. And you can't see my art right now, but it's so much better. It's so much better. 2 years does a lot to you, especially 2 years after you traveled to some random ass country for like no reason besides like, oh, I don't have any opportunities here. Let me go somewhere else and milk out my opportune self. I still think about that. I still go back to my camera roll and scroll around that time. That was a beautiful time. I hiked, I laughed, I loved. Travel changes lives. I think you often hear that. I think that's why people travel. This one took 2 years to change mine, and it will change many more to come. Anyway, that's why I get to be sharing my travels to Vancouver 2 years after the fact. On April 20th, 2023, I was a sophomore in high school on a plane that would take me away from that fact. Not the fact that it would change my life, no. The fact that I was a sophomore in high school, yeah. Ow. But for months leading up to that day, I told everyone I crossed paths with that I will be traveling to Vancouver due to my father's sabbatical to effectively communicate this point with the minimal possible follow-up questions. Like, yeah, people asked me how I was going to take my exams, and yeah, this is a do as I say and not as I do, but I'm grateful to have teachers that trust me in a school that lets me go AWOL without official proof of his sabbatical. Because he wasn't on his sabbatical, and we didn't need to go to Vancouver in the spring. We could have gone in the summer, or just for a few weeks, or just not at all. Instead, we went AWOL for a whopping 2 months. A little more, actually, like 3 months. I was tired of the small town life, and my dad offered me an escape plan in the city where he spent his 20s. While his plane ticket came from a place of reminiscence, mine came from a place of opportunity. I wanted ateliers that offered me live gesture drawing sessions and in-person portfolio development workshops, 2 things that you just can't find in the middle of a cornfield. So not only am I grateful for my accommodating teachers, but I'm also grateful for him. Dad, I know you're watching this. Thank you for opening the door to opportunity, exploration, and unbounded creativity. More than anything, I'm grateful for the privilege to embark on this adventure. The term en plein air, or let me Google translate that actually, literally translates to outdoors and may evoke a lot of grass touching from the French. For artists, though, it looks a little more like this. Just as figure drawing captures the human form, plein airs capture those of environments. What drew me towards them was their spontaneity, because an old woman approached me when I was drawing to look at my plein air and full-heartedly exclaimed, "The spontaneity!" She made me realize, though, that I opened my sketchbook when I felt like it to capture the things that I felt were captivating and the ways that I felt were interesting. A pond full of ducks, public transport, funny-looking trees. The people around me could have been taking photos of the lake surrounding the ducks or the mountain behind the trees, the view outside the bus. They could have flipped their camera around to take a selfie, text their partner, write an email. Yet when they walk past me and see my sketchbook open on my lap, they look around them. And even if it's just for a sliver of a second, they think about beauty. Thus, I believe it is safe to say that the journey of self-discovery starts with exploring my perspective of these mundanities through the plein airs that Vancouver shook out of me. The world is so pretty. My dad routinely tells me that I really know how to be alive, but I recognize this sentiment more by the term silliness. Right now, the silliness in question is climbing down 490 stairs in the wilderness with nothing but my phone and a 20-pound backpack full of acrylic paint. Wreck Beach was my destination, a nude beach off the coast of UBC. Don't worry though, I was not here to paint the people. This was not what I meant by live gesture sessions. Although I did see a handful of natures and a paraglider. Instead, I walked some 20 minutes along the coast to a secluded patch of land where I could sit and paint the ocean. Although I wish I could have preserved some of the muted colors I laid out in my initial layer, I like how it turned out in the end. A few weeks later, I took a stroll around Stanley Park, the so-called Pearl of Vancouver. It's located on Vancouver's Central Peninsula and holds one of British Columbia's last old-growth forests. I geeked out because I read a novel about it, but I also caught this video of geese brawling it out on the road. I'm not sure whether to laugh or to cry. As my escapades usually go, though, I found a bench and started painting. I used my Chinese traditional paint pigments for this one, and I like how the opaque quality brought out a more creamy look. The pigments are comparable to gouache, albeit their high glue content makes them more blendable, so I find them more flexible to work with. When I took a siesta from the figure drawing and portfolio development classes I was attending every other day, yay, to attend my sister's graduation, a big yay, I used these same colors to paint on the airplane. I kind of freaked the flight attendant out until she confirmed that they were water-based. Thank God. A lot of my sketchbook pages turn out to be simple ones, like this, and this, and this. Such was the case when I had the sudden impulse to go out and watch the sunset, then had the sudden impulse to draw the geese frolicking around in the grass. The ocean glittered when the sun went down, and it was pretty cool. It's moments like these where my father tells me that I really know how to be alive. Plein airing in Vancouver has grounded me both as an artist and as a little spirit living my own silly life. Of course, its natural beauty made me want to draw my heart out, but more than that, it was the act of being placed in a position where I could make my own decisions as a 15-year-old. It was always wake up, go to school, study until 5, draw, sleep, repeat. But when I was given free time and the autonomy to choose what to do in a city where I could do anything, the decisions I made shaped how I characterized myself. Like, I never noticed before Vancouver, but I seek new opportunities more than an alcoholic seeks their fridge at 1 a.m. No matter how good a restaurant is, I will never eat there again. If I do a figure drawing in charcoal on newsprint, I will do the next one in colored pencil on Bristol, and the next one on Procreate. I have never reread a book in my life, and I will find as many routes as possible to get from one place to another so that I can see different things every time. And I made this video too, just because I could, just because I had the opportunity to do so. The sun's coming out, let's go. Kind of. The sun's coming out. So between my sketchbook pages lies a little heart that lives for the sake of living. I am thankful for this period of rest. There aren't many people on this planet who can comfortably take a few months off to enrich their lived experience, but not everyone who can does. So thank you for tuning in to A Little Spirit Who Did. Although I know that long-term travel is not yet plausible for a lot of you guys, and not for me either now, because now I'm going to college and I'm going to be busy and I'm going to be broke. Try something new. It doesn't have to be that grand. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh my god, I went to a different country and went AWOL and came back and my art was 10 times better because I signed up for a bunch of classes in this different country where I could access them. It could just be like, have you ever drawn a tree before? There's a tree in your backyard, you know. Hey dad, I'm talking to the camera right now.
To the tree in the backyard.
No, I'm telling my audience that there's a tree in the backyard and they should draw it so that they can try new experiences and do things. He just did a thumbs up. Good morning, Dad. I'm stopping my video. He just woke up. That's my cue. I hope that after this video ends in a few seconds, you get off your phone, look around you, and take the time to draw something new. Thank you for watching. Take a paper to your pencil. Take yourself to your brain. Spill out those raw opportunities onto your paper and onto your brain, and you will find magic. Trust the process, trust the adventure, and the tastiness of this clock. Yeah.